There's a quiet conversation happening in your home right now, and it's holding you back. It's not a ghost, it's a story told by every object you own. And some of these stories are anchors, pinning you to a past you've already sailed from. They're invisible weights on your spirit, fogging your mind, making sleep a battle, and chipping away at your will, day by silent day. You move around them, blind to their power. That chipped mug from a friendship that ended in betrayal, the exercise equipment in the corner, a monument to a promise you broke to yourself. Gifts you hold on to, not from love, but from a sense of obligation. These things are not just things. They are broadcasts of stagnant energy. The ancient Shaolin masters taught a fundamental truth. Your outer world is the training ground for your inner world. If your space is a museum of old pains and unfinished business, your mind can never find true silence. This isn't just about unsteadiness. It's about energy. Objects can be placeholders for regret, disappointment, and hurt that you think you've moved past. They act like open doorways for what we might call emotional static. That background hum of anxiety, frustration, and sadness that seems to have no source. Today, I'm not going to give you cleaning tips. I'm going to give you a lens, a way to see which items are draining the life from your space, and how to release them, not with superstition, but with sharp awareness. I will share warrior-level insights hidden in plain sight, simple practices, powerful truths, and the one unwavering principle that every Shaolin disciple lives by to keep their mind a fortress. By the end of our time together, your room will look the same, but you will see it completely differently. You'll understand how a simple object can act as a chain, and how letting go isn't about creating empty space. It's about clearing your own path. If you feel restless, blocked, and unable to focus, your work starts here. Sometimes the most formidable opponent isn't out there in the world. It's sitting silently on your bookshelf. Subscribe, and let's begin clearing the battlefield within. Some objects feel heavy in your hands before you even register why. You stand in a room and your body knows something is wrong. There's a subtle pressure, a quiet command to be on guard. This isn't your imagination. It's energy, what we call chai, and it's in everything. Every item, every thread of fabric, every corner of your home is like a recording device for the feelings that have been present there. Triumph, grief, anger, peace, they leave a trace. That energy doesn't simply vanish when an event ends. It settles. It embeds itself. A piece of jewelry from a lover who was dishonest. A cracked phone screen you look at 100 times a day. A strange piece of art that makes you feel uneasy, but you keep it because it was a good investment. These things emit a dissonant frequency, an energy that's out of tune. And when your surroundings broadcast chaos, your mind attunes to it. Without a sound, you start to feel pulled off your center. You lose your decisiveness. You begin to operate from a place of reaction, not from a place of stillness. The Shaolin way teaches this. When the environment is out of harmony, the spirit cannot be settled. The unbalanced energy in your space isn't neutral. It's an active mirror for something inside you. This is why identifying these objects is not about superstition. It's a profound act of self-inquiry. It forces you to ask, why am I giving this my space? What unresolved part of me resonates with this? Often, we anchor ourselves to the past by building shrines to its artifacts. And that's how a simple closet becomes a tomb for who we used to be. That's how your own bedroom can begin to whisper old anxieties back to you as you try to rest. This is why monks are taught to possess little and to keep only what strengthens or clarifies the spirit. Not because possessions are inherently bad, but because energy is fundamentally real. Your home is not just where you sleep. It is an extension of your own energy field. What you surround yourself with, you become. What you permit to stay, stays within you. Not all drains on your spirit make a noise. Sometimes they're silent works of art. A statue with a tormented face. A mask frozen in a posture of aggression. A painting that captures a scene of profound loss. These items may appear culturally rich or aesthetically daring, but in the quiet hours of the night, their energetic signature is one of heaviness. It's not that they're possessed, but that symbols are a language. A language that speaks directly to your subconscious, bypassing your rational mind entirely. In the old traditions, symbols were handled with immense respect. A single character on a wall could radiate calm, focus, or warning. The masters knew that what you see repeatedly, you absorb. It becomes part of your internal landscape, shaping your baseline emotions without ever asking your permission. You might not connect the dots at first, just a vague sense of being on edge when you work near your desk. A restlessness that makes it hard to truly relax in your living room. This is the nature of subtle influence, tiny, consistent inputs that feed an underground river of tension, a nameless anxiety that seems to spring from nothing. True mastery is not just about epic struggles. It begins with the discipline to curate your own space. It is being radically honest about the ambient energy you choose to live in, especially when it comes from something autistic. If an object radiates disturbance, it doesn't matter how much it cost or who gave it to you. A deeper intelligence within you is asking you to prioritize your peace over the possession, to let go without guilt or attachment of what is no longer in harmony with you. Because when you remove the symbols that speak of conflict, your own spirit can finally stand down. The quiet feels cleaner, the shadows feel softer, and your home transforms from a mere dwelling into a true sanctuary, a dojo for building clarity, presence, and unshakable inner calm. Some objects carry a weight that has no mass. A pile of books for a skill you gave up on. A box of photos from a time in your life you're glad is over. A trophy from a job that hollowed you out. They seem benign, hidden away in a cupboard or a basement box. But they aren't silent. Their very existence is a low-frequency broadcast of memory, of emotion, of the gravitational pull of what was. The discipline of a warrior begins with awareness, not just of the breath, but of the environment. Every object is an echo, and when that echo is tied to a sense of failure, it creates a feedback loop. Every glance, conscious or not, reinforces a message. You weren't good enough. You quit. You are a person who doesn't finish things. A part of your energy remains trapped there, caught in a cycle of self-recrimination and regret. Mindfulness doesn't tell you to forget the past. It asks you to conclude it. And completion isn't about changing history. It's about severing your energetic tie to it. Sometimes that requires revisiting the story with new compassion. More often, it simply requires release. To hoard the relics of your own broken chapters is to keep yourself frozen in a story that no longer fits who you are. This is how a psychic residue builds up in our lives. And when it becomes thick enough, even moving forward feels exhausting. The path to mastery is as much about what you have the courage to shed as it is about what you acquire. That old guitar, the business plan, the letters under your bed. If it represents regret, ask one simple question. Is this object a sail, or is it an anchor? There is profound power in release. There is freedom in closure. Sometimes peace isn't found by fixing the past, but by setting down the burden of carrying it. Completion unlocks space. Space invites presence. And presence is the soil where your real power grows. The room can be perfectly still, but your mind is a hornet's nest. Not from any real-world threat, but because a screen is glowing nearby, an endless feed of notifications, half-read articles, arguments between strangers, algorithms injecting thoughts and anxieties directly into your consciousness. This is the new chaos. It's silent, polished, and infinite. In ancient eras, disruptions were obvious. A slamming door, a heated argument, a physical threat. Today's disturbances are more insidious, quiet but relentless. You scroll, you click, you refresh. Each thumb flick is a small dispersal of your chi, a fragmentation of your attention, a pull away from the present moment. The Shaolin path teaches stillness not as emptiness, but as concentrated power. When your focus is splintered, your energy leaks out. You may not feel it acutely in the moment, but the chronic result is fatigue, brain fog, shallow sleep, a body that's coiled with tension for no discernible reason. The screen is a thief of more than just your time. It steals your center. Conscious disconnection is a modern martial art, a sacred withdrawal. It's not about rejecting the world, but about reclaiming your own energetic sovereignty. To declare, for this moment, I belong only to myself. Put the device in a drawer. Light a candle. Just breathe. Even 15 minutes of screen-free silence can recalibrate your entire energy field. You will feel the subtle shift. Your own energy, no longer scattered, begins to regather. Slow, coherent, and yours. Your breathing settles. Your mind clarifies. You can finally hear yourself think. This is not an escape. It is a sharpening. A warrior maintains their sword in quiet focus. You maintain your spirit by stepping back from the digital noise. What you feed your eyes, you feed your soul. Choose wisely. Peace is not an accident you stumble upon. It is a space you deliberately create by choosing what to welcome and what to gently turn away. Your clothes are a second skin, and they remember. A jacket you wore during a bitter confrontation. A pair of shoes you had on the day you received terrible news. A piece of jewelry you nervously twisted during a period of intense anxiety. These items become linked to a state of being, and the connection is not always a healthy one. They were pressed against your body during moments of high energy emotion, and they absorbed that charge. In Shaolin philosophy, we understand that fabric, in particular, is energetically absorbent. It takes on more than just the scent of your body. It takes on the frequency of your emotions. Despair has a coldness. Panic has a sharp, erratic quality. These energies don't just evaporate when your mood changes. They embed themselves in the fibers. And when you wear that item again, days or even years later, you can feel it. A sudden drop in your mood, a wave of unexplained tension, an impulse to be defensive. It's not the style or the fabric itself, it's the emotional echo trapped within. This is the practical wisdom behind the ritual cleansing of objects in so many ancient cultures. It's not superstition, it's spiritual hygiene, a way to neutralize lingering imprints and restore an object to a neutral state. You can do this yourself with sun and fresh air. A simple, mindful washing with salt, a clear intention spoken aloud. Or you can choose the ultimate cleansing, letting it go. Releasing it, selling it, or even burning it if the memory it holds is particularly toxic. Mastery demands this level of fine-tuned awareness, not from a place of paranoia, but from deep respect for the energy field you are responsible for. When you purify what touches your body, you are silencing the echoes of past reactions. You restore yourself to a clean slate, and in that pristine quiet, your spirit feels lighter. Your presence becomes more potent. The past loses its subtle power over you, and the day ahead feels entirely, freshly your own. Some legacies are handed down not through wills, but through objects. A watch from a father who was consumed by his work. A piece of furniture from a grandmother who endured a lifetime of unspoken grief. A tool from a mentor whose life ended in bitterness. These objects are more than wood and metal. They are containers for unresolved life force. Energy is not confined to a single life. It imprints itself on memory, on emotion, and on physical matter. When someone gives you an object, especially if they are carrying a heavy emotional burden, that object can act as a vessel, a quiet transmitter of what was never processed, never healed. You don't have to know the specific story. Sometimes your body tells you. You feel a strange melancholy when you see that painting, a subtle wave of anxiety when you put on that ring. It's not dramatic, just a feeling of being slightly out of sync with yourself. The Shaolin perspective reminds us that mere ownership is meaningless. What counts is resonance. Does this object's energy align with yours? If an item was crafted, worn, or given with joy and love, it will feel uplifting. If its story is rooted in fear, duty, or emotional turmoil, it can subtly poison your space. This doesn't mean all inherited items are tainted. It means you have the right to be a conscious receiver. Your intuition is the filter. Objects communicate in silence. They ask, does my story support your story? Or is it time for you to let me go? There is no dishonor in releasing something. To offer gratitude for the connection, and then return the item to the cycle, to the earth, to a new owner who might resonate with it differently. or even just to storage, cleared with ritual and intention. You are not obligated to be a museum for other people's energetic debts. Your home, your space, your life must be a reflection of your own path. And that requires discernment, not just of what you bring in, but of what you choose, day after day, to keep. Peace is born from surrounding yourself only with what is clear, aligned, and fully present. Not all clutter looks like a mess. Some of it is meticulously polished, artistically arranged, and prohibitively expensive. A collection of designer bags you never use. A room filled with furniture chosen to signal success, not to invite rest. Status symbols acquired not because they bring joy, but because of what they say to others. These are the beautiful chains, admired by all, but deeply unsettling to the spirit. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the outer world mirrors the inner. Too much of anything, including carefully curated luxury, becomes a form of noise. Excessive materialism fuels the ego, the part of the mind that is an insatiable ghost, always comparing, always craving, always feeling a sense of lack. You can enter a space like this and feel a strange pressure, a tightness in the chest. There is no real rest in a room that's built to perform. It subtly screams for validation. It forces you to ask, am I impressive enough? Am I living up to this image? This is not a condemnation of prosperity. A true master embraces abundance without being captured by it. It is a warning against the spiritual prison of attachment. When your sense of self is fused with your possessions, your spirit is forced to live in a very small, very fragile box. Simplicity, by contrast, is an invitation. It creates stillness. A single beautiful piece of wood, tended with love, a comfortable chair, an uncluttered surface that gives your mind permission to expand. These are not symbols of poverty. They are symbols of presence. Discipline is the power to choose what feeds your soul, not what polishes your ego. A quiet room is not empty. It's filled with potential, and when you let go of the need to look powerful, you start to actually feel powerful. Grounded, serene, and internally sourced. The more you strip away what you use to distract and impress, the more clearly you see what truly sustains you. And in that clear seeing, peace is no longer a goal you strive for. It is the very atmosphere you breathe. Even sacred items have a life cycle. A mala bead that snapped during a difficult meditation. A statue that got chipped in a move. A book of teachings with a broken spine and pages falling out. These were once potent allies on your path, objects you infused with intention and respect. But now they sit, damaged and neglected. They are no longer active participants in your practice. They are just memories, carrying a faint echo of their former power. In the temple, a monk is taught to honor their spiritual tools, but not to become attached to them in a sentimental way. A broken bell is not a bad omen, but if it's left to gather dust, it transitions from a sacred object to a stagnant one. Its purpose has ended. The thing that once focused your mind now just contributes to the visual noise, blending into the background. Your practice becomes about habit, not presence. True reverence is not found in clinging to what was. It is found in respecting the natural flow of things: creation, function, completion, and release. It's understandable to hold on. This was with me through a dark time. This mala represents my commitment. But when an object's energy has been spent, its purpose fulfilled, keeping it can become a form of spiritual hoarding. It's a subtle block, but a real one. Letting go of a broken tool doesn't disrespect your journey. It honors it. It is a declaration: I am grateful for what this taught me. My path has evolved. I am making space for what is next. Your discipline is revealed in these small acts of care: mending the tool, cleaning the altar, or respectfully retiring an object that has served its purpose. These acts shape your energy field. Spiritual aids are not meant to be permanent fixtures. They are meant to be companions for a season of growth, and then to be released when their work is done. When your sacred space contains only what is vibrant and actively meaningful, it becomes a powerful mirror of your own evolving path, clear, alive, and awake. In a space like that, practice is no longer a routine. It is the living expression of who you are becoming. Energy, doesn't just collect where you can see it. It pools where you choose to forget. The closet filled with things you'll get to someday. The guest room that has become a dumping ground. That corner of the garage piled with old projects and broken electronics. It's easy to think that what's out of sight is out of mind. But your home is a single energetic system. And what you neglect, you give power over you. Shaolin teachings remind us that our living space is a physical map of our consciousness. Just as chronic stress settles into the unnoticed muscles of our neck and shoulders, the energetic stress in a home hides in the ignored spaces. They become pockets of thick, heavy, blocked chum. I invite you to walk through your own home one day, not with the intention to clean, but with the intention to feel. Notice the places your eyes tend to skip over. Notice where you might subtly hold your breath. Your body registers what your conscious mind has learned to ignore. This isn't about achieving perfection. It's about restoring intention. The simple act of opening a window in a dusty room, stacking boxes neatly, or wiping down a forgotten shelf can fundamentally alter the energy, not just in that corner, but in the entire home. In turn, it alters you. Neglect breeds stagnation. Presence breathes life back in. Consider this a form of warrior training, conducted not with dramatic kicks, but with quiet attention. You reclaim your own life force by reclaiming your living space. You don't need a renovation, you just need to bring your awareness. Every forgotten space you tend to becomes a part of your own mind that you bring back into the light. Every cleared corner is a powerful statement. No part of my life is abandoned. Every part of me is worthy of care. True mastery is forged in these humble, unseen moments, where a simple act of sorting becomes a meditation, where dust is a teacher of impermanence, and where your home, step by step, becomes a perfect reflection of the inner balance you are consciously choosing to create. Your home has a voice, but you have to move slowly to hear it. Every room possesses a distinct energy signature. Some feel like a gentle current, easy and flowing. Others feel turbulent, static, or dense. These impressions are easy to override when we live in a state of rush. But if you walk with deliberate presence, they become undeniable. A threshold that always makes you hesitate. A chair you never choose to sit in. These are not flights of fancy. This is your body reading the energy of the space. Shaolin training is not just about mastering the body's movements, but about learning to perceive the subtle flows of qi in your environment. You already have the only tool you need: your own awareness. Begin with your breath. Let it be deep and steady. Let your bare feet feel the texture of the floor, as if for the very first time. Now, enter each room as a respectful visitor. What do you sense? Not just with your eyes, but with your skin, with your gut. The quality of the air, the character of the silence, the way light falls. If a space feels off, trust that feeling. The simplest way to reset it is with incense or a sacred herb. This is not a magic trick, it's an act of intention. As you watch the smoke curl and drift, let it carry your silent command, your simple words. I release all that is not in my highest service. I welcome clarity and peace into this room. These small, mindful rituals have immense power. They clear the energetic field around you, which in turn calms your own nervous system. Your thoughts become less jagged. Your breath returns to its natural rhythm. This is the real work of home maintenance. It's not about chores, it's about curating your own sanctuary. Discipline isn't just in the dojo, it's in the way you air out a room. The pause you take before crossing a threshold. The conscious choice for tranquility over chaos. A home that is regularly cleansed with presence becomes more than just a roof over your head. It becomes a powerful ally on your spiritual path, a steadfast friend, a living mirror of your own inner state. And when your outer world is calm, your spirit finally has a place to land, to heal, and to gather its strength. When you remove the things that drain your space, you are doing more than just tidying up. You are engaging in a profound practice of clarity. You are making a silent vow: my peace is not for sale. I will no longer house that which pulls me from my center. This is not superstition. This is self-mastery at its most fundamental. because the objects we surround ourselves with are never neutral. They are daily affirmations of what we believe we are worth, of the stories we cling to, and of the parts of ourselves we are ready to release. The Shaolin path does not require elaborate ceremony. It demands simple, daily awareness, a clear eye, a steady mind, and the courage to let go, over and over, until all that remains is what is in true alignment with your highest self. So I encourage you to walk through your home as if it were a sacred temple, not with fear of the shadows, but with a quiet respect for the light you are creating. Let your discipline be the architect of your surroundings, and let your surroundings, in turn, remind you of the person you are choosing in every moment to become. Thank you for sharing this part of the path. If this guidance brought you a moment of clarity, subscribe and stay on this journey. We walk it together, in silence, with power, one deliberate step at a time.